So guys, from March, April, May, June, July, August, and September, that is 6 months, and that is the period that was being given to Senator Natasha and representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. So 6 months ago, the suspension was announced by the third person of the country, that is the Senate President, Goswi Obot Akpabio. Now, I'm going to be giving some kind of breakdown about this whole issue. And people expect that after the 6 months, she will be called back and this whole story will die down, or this whole saga and all of these things between her and the Senate President will come to an end. But now, this time around, we've begun to kind of hear another dimension of the story now, because it looks as if this story is not ending anytime soon. Just yesterday, 9th of September 2025, we saw the response by the clerk of the Senate to the submission of Senator Natasha in respect to her resumption. Because based on the 6 months, she was supposed to resume September 4th, and she made the Senate know about her resumption. But now, they're making us understand and making her understand that she can never resume because of some court ruling by the appeal court about all of her suspension and all of that. But guys, there have been a lot of people out there talking about this whole issue. Now, some of the opinion that something like this would have actually been resolved politically, because they felt it's actually an issue between two parties that could have been resolved. You understand? Yeah, there's an issue about change of seat, about, several controversies then when this whole issue sparked out. And at the other side, we saw sexual harassment allegations by Senator Natasha against Goswi Obot Akpabio. And when this whole issue started, we saw all of what happened. Even the wife of Senate President, Senator Obot Akpabio, the wife came out and she defended her husband. And several people actually, during that time, they actually came out with their own perspective in respect to what should have been done. Why so many people hope that if Senator Natasha has apologized before now, something like this will not have happened. And now, at this point in time, people are of the opinion that it looks as if there is a personal vendetta between Senator Akpabio and a guest Senator Natasha, knowing fully well that she was being voted by Kogi Central and she's meant to represent the interest of her people. Now, there's a lot of things about the sexual harassment, about all of the hotel. Several points was being raised back then when this whole issue started, talking about the evidence of Senator Natasha, talking about the hotel, several things, you understand? Now, there are several court cases, there are several court pending cases in court that you need to know. One of it is the judgment that is being postponed against Senator Natasha by the government. You don't need to know that the government actually took Senator Natasha to court based on the defamatory criminal defamation that was being leveled against her in respect to Senator Akpabio and former Governor Yaya Bello. You also have a court case pending by the wife of the Senate President, and we also have another court case, sexual harassment court case, also still pending. You understand? And while other people are swearing, saying that this matter is a matter of sub judice and we're waiting for the court to actually determine what will happen at the end of the day. But if I may ask you, what do you think is actually going on between Senator Natasha and Senator Obot Akpabio? So do aware to drop your comments and watch this video to the end. As we speak, our suspension still stand, and she might not be resuming even if the Senate resume plenary later this month. So let's see how it goes, guys, and let's see how the struggle of Senator Natasha continue. Watch, like, and subscribe.
There was something that I think we should talk about. Senator Natasha was preparing to resume plenary, but the Senate gave her a shocker that it's not yet time to resume. What do you think about all this?
Well, first of all, I'll say this is an institution and it runs on processes and rules. And for me, the people I feel for here most for is her constituents who are being deprived of representation. And this is something that, a simple apology should have solved. It's not a matter of grandstanding. You're not fighting an individual. You're fighting the whole institution. Imagine a scenario whereby, you've offended your colleagues. How do you expect to function coming back into that chamber and, your colleagues you're not in good terms with your colleagues? I don't think it's a right example to set if you're grandstanding just because of a few clicks and, some public sympathy, which is gradually fading. Everybody is just advising her, just apologize and, for the interest of your own people. I think that should be paramount in this whole situation. Yes, the Senate or, the National Assembly may have its faults, but first respect rules. And then you can, present your case.
Yeah, I think we've actually gone beyond the stage of the apology. A sanction was released on her, 6 months suspension. She has served her term. And if Senate is an institution, she has served her term.
But the matter is in court.
She has served her term. And
the matter is in court. And the court, they advised her to apologize. Even if you apologize, they would have admitted you back.
In court proceedings, even an appeal does not stop. Does not mean you stop execution. An appeal does not mean she has served her term 6 months. While she resumed plenary, the case in court can go on. Even when you appeal a judgment, does not mean stay of execution.
Well,
and the Senate knows this. The Senate knows that, and I think they should go beyond making it just an individual fight. It's an institution. You give her 6 months, she has served her term. Let her resume plenary while the court proceedings
From what I've observed
continue.
Covering the Senate, you can't go back into that chamber without them, calling you back and apologizing to them if you offended them.
Okay, let's move a bit.
You are standing against an entire institution. It's not
let me try and correct something here. 2017, Alun Dume versus the Senate.
He apologized.
After the courts gave the ruling, he resumed. It's not an apology.
Apologized.
He resumed the Senate.
He apologized.
Those things are...
Anybody that is feeling, surprised now that the Senate has come up with this position is not really being honest. The truth is, this matter would have been resolved long time ago through a political solution. It's a political problem that borders on the violation of Senate rules on one hand, which became entangled in some sort of some accusations of sexual harassment on the part of the senator against the Senate president. So one would have thought that between when all of this started and now, a political solution would have been involved by interested parties, coming together to resolve these problems between a member of the Senate and the leadership of the Senate. But that has not been done. So when the senator decided to appeal the last judgment by the Federal High Court in Abuja, which she didn't find favorable in its entirety, the Senate also decided to cross-appeal some part of the judgment that it felt that the Honorable Justice Binta Mutananya should not have made an announcement on. So truly, the matter has shifted to the arena of the judiciary. And once that is the case, the Senate can always hide behind that judicial imbroglio that is declared that the distinguished senator violated sitting arrangement in the Senate. But she also felt that she was unfairly picked on because of sexual harassment allegations against the Senate president and all that. For me, what she should have done from the beginning was apologize for violating sitting arrangement on one hand, and then pursue your claims of sexual harassment against the Senate president on the other hand. Look, this is a basic rule in the Senate. Sitting arrangement is a basic. I've interacted with a lot of senators who said, look, you can come to the Senate at any time and see your seat change. There's nothing sacrosanct about any sitting arrangement. So long as you're not in the membership of the leadership. So all seats are the same essentially. So they reshuffle at all times. It's at the discretion of the Senate leadership. And a lot of them have said at least once or twice their own seats have been reshuffled. And on the day her seat was reassigned, she was not the only senator whose seat was reassigned. So she should have apologized for that one first. And then pursue your sexual harassment allegation to conclusion, either through the courts or through the ethics committee, as the case may be. But to entangle, to kind of entangle both situations has created this prolonged judicial imbroglio now that is not in her favor on behalf of her constituency. Now, for the LP and the PDP members, party that are talking about Senate are not having rights to bar her from coming in. It's not interesting that we had PDP members in the Senate We have PDP, Labour Party members in the Senate, and they did not utter a word of protestation when she was being suspended. As we speak, we've not seen the Senate caucus of the PDP or the Labour Party coming out to say we are breaking ranks with majority APC on this matter. So sometimes I don't know how the opposition parties in Nigeria actually work. They sit in their headquarters, make statements that their own members within the system are not even able to implement or carry out or align with. And that's a juice for another day anyway. So for me, what should be explored is a political solution. It's a political problem. These are friends, former friends that turn fools over issues that are not really in the public domain. So I had expected that there will be shifting on ground, and a healthy compromise between all warring parties so that the interest of both the senator and her constituents will be protected. But as it stands, since there are no shifting on ground, I do not think the Senate can be blamed for saying that the judicial imbroglio should be resolved or exhausted, probably to the Supreme Court, before she can be recalled.
Dr. Majid, I'm going to extend this conversation beyond the two of them, because there's also a third party in all of this, which is the Constituent. What does this say about representation for her constituent? Because you know how court processes go in this country. This may just be, she may never get back to the Senate before the end of her tenure, because whoever wins, they can drag this for as long as they want to. What does this mean for her constituents, her people?
That is why, as a senator, once you are elected and inaugurated on the floor of the red chamber, you are handed that red book, the rule book. You must study it, internalize it, and abide by the rules. The constitution talked about in question my constituents. The senator in question is my senator. And I'm saying, for somebody who has interest of my own conscience at heart and her own interest too as a politician, I had advised at the beginning to say, look, go and apologize for violating sitting arrangements. Apologize for that. You may have felt, because of course she's a new senator, the first timer, she may have felt that the seat allocation was targeted at her because of the issues she claims she's having with the Senate President. But when it was brought, you notice that, no, this is part of our standing rules. You can't speak from a seat not allocated to you. You apologize. Nobody's above mistake. After the same Senate President was caught in this same kind of act in the previous assembly. And when he was clarified, he apologized and took his new lead as in Senate. If she had done that, the Senate would not have been able to go ahead to now suspend her based on seat violation. But she hasn't done that. And look, no responsible citizen should encourage any form of violation of rules, no matter how sentimental we feel about it. So if she knew her circumstances would suffer, she would have obeyed the Senate rules. And when she mistakenly flouted one of the rules, apology. There's nobody above apology. While you cannot pursue your sexual harassment allegation against the Senate President, but you must also bring out all the evidence available to support it.
That's right.
I'll give an example. In that Lagos where you're sitting now, there was a time that sexual allegation harassment rocked the University of Lagos. Before the victims went public, they were able to record the lecturers in question involved and made it public. These university authorities, the public, there was no dissenting opinion. There was no defense for the perpetrator because it was clear, it's black and white. So before you make allegations against anybody too, you must be sure you have your evidence. Concrete evidence that you can present both to the public and to the court. I've heard people say, if she has evidence, it's not to the public. I said, no. It is called proof of evidence. You must use it to substantiate your allegation. Even in public. You must substantiate your allegations in public before taking it to court. So for me, she should apologize for violating sitting arrangement in the interest of her people. If she didn't have the interest of her people at heart, she should have brought that right from the beginning. She look, as a politician, you must have the skills of diplomatic engagement to maneuver the system, to meander through the system in the interest of your people. This is not a military establishment. It's a political institution. Again, without prejudice to her allegations against the Senate President, burden on social harassment, she should not have flouted the Senate rule. And when she did, and to point that to her, she should have simply complied with the directive. It's as simple as that. You cannot, because of your personal problems with somebody, flout the rule of an entire arm of government and expect not to face sanctions for it.